Greetings everyone, this is Michael Chan of the Faith and Firearms Project. At the Faith and Firearms Project, we study the intersection of guns and religion in America. Today's publication here is going to be a little bit different than the normal ones. It is an interview of sorts insofar as I'm going to be representing the opinion of somebody else, but it's going to be anonymous in a couple of different ways. I received an email some weeks ago after posting about the Faith and Firearms Project on Facebook, and I received an email from a pastor who expressed some very, very strong views about guns and did so from his own theological perspective. But and we had an exchange of maybe 8 to 10 emails, maybe 6 to 7, and in that exchange, at the end, he finally concluded that he wasn't interested in doing a face-to-face interview, but one of anonymity. And he also did not want to have his voice associated with his comments. He feels very strongly about this topic and wanted kind of to distance his own public person from the comments. So what he has given me permission to do, though, is to read those comments. And so what I've done is I've printed out an email that he sent me that he's given me permission to read. So like I said, this comes from an anonymous pastor who has also at one point served as a first responder, and so this is going to be his a statement from him about guns and religion. He says, "Here's my perspective. I experience handguns possessed by private citizens as implements of violence. Long-barreled guns are at least useful for hunting, but handguns have no other use than to shoot human beings or practice to shoot human beings. From a faith perspective, the ownership and use of handguns is idolatrous. In some ways, that is not much of an assertion. Owning an automobile is an assertion that I will drive from place to place at a speed considerably above walking speed. That speed is well beyond my usual abilities without mechanical assistance, and I am compelled by law to manage my automobile with great care, or risk losing a considerable amount of my income and freedom. Handgun owners are also compelled to manage themselves and their handheld power with great care. But the trouble is that enforcement comes only after the bad actor has done wrong. There is no way to prevent violence from guns held by private persons. We are our brother's keepers, responsible for the well-being of our neighbors and our family and all the people God has placed in our world. It's hard for me to comprehend how private gun ownership makes that more possible or more likely. I do not think that our faith permits or encourages us to hold the power over others that possession and display of a handgun communicates. You know," and he's saying this in quotes, this next phrase, quote, "You know I could kill you right here and no one would ever know," unquote. That's what a stepfather I knew told his stepson. Is there ever a good reason for a human being to think that way or speak that way? Is there ever a good reason to place that power in their hands? And here are my ethical concerns. No one has the right to shoot another human being, and even police-involved shootings are coming under increased scrutiny, which should have happened a long time ago. No one has the right to shoot another human being, so in a community of mutual concern, no one has the right to possess a handgun. No one has the right to openly carry or concealed carry a gun outside the work of active duty police and public security officers. The private possession of that much firepower is more than a privilege. It imposes on my freedom, and it allows for the deadly escalation of interpersonal violence. The same might be said about kitchen knives, but a knife fight involves a different sort of interaction and allows for the possibility of self-defense, escape, or intervention by outsiders. I would be happier if people were requested or required to keep their deer rifle at the police department lockup and could check out their guns for the day when they are about to go hunting. This would allow the police to assess a person's mood, temper, and level of alcohol consumption before they got to bear arms that day. Go ahead and use your hunting weapons for the purpose intended, and when they are not in use, check them back into the official lending library and storage unit. Some will argue that only criminals will have guns, which might be true, but the level of violence would still be curtailed. These are separate issues. There is no reason for anyone to have a long gun in their home during the off-season when hunting is not permitted. I have been a first responder and sometimes the first responder to scenes of gun-related homicide and suicide. I have held the shattered remains of a friend's head in my hand and washed his blood and brains from his wheelchair. There is more that I could say about him and some others, but I'd rather be suggestive than to complete those details. The gun violence shown by the media in cinema and on television does not begin to depict the blood that cries out from the earth. Our faith calls us to be accountable for the decisions we make, including the desire and decision to hold such power over another human being's life and well-being. That brings us to the end of the email that I received. Once again, I've been doing a reading of an email that I received from a pastor who, while willing to share his thoughts in this way, with me reading them, is not willing to be associated with them in any sort of public way. He requested anonymity. Thank you for watching. Please leave your comments in the box below, and if you have any suggestions about how to improve the project or other people I might interview, please contact me at faithandfirearms007@gmail.com. Thank you.